And we are on. Hi, everyone. This is Two Grumpy Old Men, and my name is Rich Garling, and
I'm Tim Bagwell.
we're going to be interviewing Holly Kim. Now, Holly Kim is the current Lake County, Illinois treasurer, and has been for the last 7 years, and she's a candidate for the Illinois Comptroller's position in Illinois here. And I think she's got a good shot at it. So we thought we'd have a conversation with her about, what it is that she does, or what she's been doing as county treasurer, what she hopes to do as comptroller. But I wanted to start out with one really basic question, Holly. I understand you got your start in politics because of a chicken?
Oh, somebody here knows the lore. I did, it's true.
We do our research at TGOM.
So I first got in because I wanted pet chickens. And I did a lot of research before I brought it up to my own village. Like, I went to other towns and took notes and everything. And so when I saw in the paper that backyard chickens was a topic that came to Mundelein, Illinois, I was like, well, it's now or never. And what I had noticed the pattern was in other towns, there was always some lady who wanted backyard chickens. So they always, coined her as the crazy chicken lady. So I showed up with a bunch of guys and women, and we were an advocacy group.
There you go.
We had all of our facts on a easel, and I was like, here's the clucks and decibels versus dogs and cats, and zoonotic diseases versus dogs and cats, and if anything, it looked like a case to ban dogs and cats. But anyway, at the end of the day, they voted no on the chickens, and my brain exploded because I was like, how can you refute these facts, And I did all this research, and that was the day that I learned government was not about facts and logic.
Oh,
Really?
It's about majority vote. There you go. Dramatic pause. It is about majority vote. So
One has to know their math, right?
I thought you were. I didn't do my research. I thought you were going to succeed, but with a rooster exclusion, which is what they usually do.
That is true. That is what they usually do. So I said to my friend, I go, this is just a numbers game. And if you and I are up on that board, we have enough yes votes to not only have chickens, to fill these empty storefronts, put in new restaurants, all sorts of stuff. So I said, we should run for office. And that's literally how it happened. And since then, I was not only a village trustee, I've worked at the township, I've been county treasurer for 2 terms, and I've also risen up in the political party and flipped a bunch of districts. Anyway, at the end of this all, I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be called "They Should Have Just Given Me My Chicken."
And it would.
Yes.
Would have stopped there. I don't think so.
Yes,
Perhaps
nothing
not.
like a person with a mission, Well,
I do have chickens now. For everyone who's wondering, I do have chickens now.
Yes, well, I know
Victory.
you do.
Victory.
Well, one of the things that Holly and I share is the fact that we are both avid gardeners. And I'm a little jealous of yours, though. Because
I have maximized all my garden space. Not only do I grow vegetables and herbs, I have fruit trees all over the place. And, it's like the Showtime rotisserie. You just kind of set it and forget it, your fruit trees. And years later, I got pears, plums, peaches, cherries. What else do I have? Apples. I have Asian pear and European pear. Yeah, there's just so many. So many fruit.
How much land do you have there?
Just a postage stamp sized lot. I've just maximized it, that's all.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, I have, because I have a 10 by 10 foot area in my neighbor's yard, and I do an exchange with her. I cut her lawn. She lets me grow my garden there. And then I have 2 raised beds. And you've seen pictures of my stuff on Facebook. I think I grow a fair amount of stuff. I like zucchini. Love zucchini.
We're purely a floral garden ourselves down here, and then the squirrels and the flower and the birds.
What kind of flowers, Sam?
Wildflowers mostly, and then we have some bulbs out front, some tulips out front that we have to keep the squirrels away from. They like to dig those up.
We have that problem.
And then whatever she decides every year is That's what we have.
Yep.
Is it a mix of annuals and perennials that you got?
Mostly perennials. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. Don't you know?
You know,
I'm
for
not
the
as-
gardening nerds who are listening right now, like they want to know. They want to know specific.
Well, they want to know you.
What have two grumpy old men and Holly Kim, growing their gardens? There we go. Oh, God.
Holly.
The chickens, by the way, were the gateway drug because now I have goats and my goat. Had
Yeah, you have a
babies.
goat.
I got
What
four
is the
goats,
goat's
yeah.
name?
The goat's
I
name
had-
is Tanya. Like Tanya.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Tanya, yeah.
Yeah. We saw that. We saw that.
I'll pull up a
That-
photo while you
That's
guys-
public knowledge. That's public knowledge.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Everything's public knowledge about me.
Oh, you have a lot out there in comparison to other candidates for this office.
All right, so here's my goat, Tanya, and those are her two babies right there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're cute. They're so cute.
Now, do they eat everything?
They eat They start chewing my shirt. Look at that baby. It's so chubby. It's chubby for the winter.
There we go. There we go. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Holly, what made you want to run for comptroller?
So currently I am in my second term as Lake County Treasurer, and one of the things that I am hell-bent on doing in government is tangible deliverable. All right, so in my office currently, one of the first things I did was process map, which I feel like everyone should do when they get in a new government office.
Mhm.
And then just find
Yes.
ways to make it more efficient, save money. There are changes I've made that have delivered us over 200% returns, investment interest compared to like when I first started. So for example, there's a bucket of interest that any interest generated off these investments, the county board gets to use at their discretion. So when I first got there, it was producing $2 million, and now it produces $6 million. So it pays not only for my department, I give $4 million back to the county to use on whatever they want. And so that's
Yeah.
an exponential growth of over 200% there. And then the reserves bucket, which is the rainy day fund, and we don't touch it. It used to do $6 million in interest, and after I got there, now it produces more like $24 million every year in interest.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's exponential.
Yeah.
And then, I'll tell you the secret. It's not like I'm just hell bent on results, right? And so I told all the investment firms, I'm going to stack you like Survivor Island, and the two lowest producing, I'm going to take your money and distribute it to the other companies. So I cranked the gas on them. You know, I cranked the gas on them, and then they were competing with each other all of a sudden. So it wasn't about handshakes. It wasn't about playing golf with me. It was only results. The one I'm most proud of is there's a bucket where the property taxes go in and out, because one of your roles as county treasurer is collecting property taxes. And so in pass-through interest, this checking account did about 1.75%, and I negotiated a higher rate. I asked them, like, could you give more interest? Because I'm trying to maximize everything, right? Just like my garden. It's just like my garden. And the bank was like, no, you know, that's the customary amount, you know, for interest-bearing checking is 1.75. I was like, that's cool. I'll just go somewhere else. And they're like, hold on. Let's talk about this. Let's not be crazy. And so they talked to their manager, and they got me 4% interest on that checking.
Yeah.
So because that was also exponential growth right there, we got $3.2 million just on interest, and I gave it back to my taxing bodies. So schools, parks, libraries, they all got money they never asked for. And there's also a school out there who got $140,000 they never asked for. And I'm very proud to say this past year I gave them another $3.2 million in interest as well. And it's really just being someone who thinks outside the box. It's I think we're at a point where not only like Democrats, Republicans, but everybody is like, would you just deliver something? Like, don't give me those polished bullet points. You know, I don't want limousine liberals. I just want you to deliver something. You know, and I think we're there.
So, how would that work then with Illinois Comptroller? Because you did so well with the county treasurer, but how does that parlay
Translate.
over
Yeah.
partly over to the
So,
comptroller?
currently, currently, as county treasurer, I do both functions. So I handle the money coming in and the investing, and the money going out. So the state is so big, you have one person for this, and that's the Illinois State Treasurer. That's Michael Frericks right now, for the money coming in and investing. And then you have another person for the money going out. That's Susanna Mendoza, the current controller, who is not running for re-election. And so, when I get there, here's my plan. It's a 1, 2, 3. Number one, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do the job. And I'm going to do the same thing when I get in there and process map, right? Beef up cybersecurity, probably upgrade our software. There's a lot of stuff that's outdated, and I can tell because I work with that office on a treasurer to controller basis. So the example I'll give you is when I receive wire transfers from the banks, there's lots of data. When I receive from the Illinois State Controller's Office, there's less, which tells me they're using an older mainframe like software. So there's just some like housekeeping stuff that needs to be done. Again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do the job. And so I'll do the same process map, look for efficiencies. So number two, the thing I'll do is this Office of Controller is also known all over the country for their prevailing wage department. And that's the department that makes sure that all Illinois state projects are paying prevailing wage, which is a state law. And the unions really want to make sure that skilled labor is being paid correctly, right? So right now there's 2 people for this prevailing wage department. And with all the data centers that are popping up, all the solar farms, like that's just not enough. And in touring around the state of Illinois, what I find is a lot of unions and a lot of different organizations, they have regional representation. So we're going to need regional representation in this office to be proactive. Well, all these projects are coming out, we got to be on top of it, right? Interestingly enough, it seems like the data centers are the hot thing, but they're all happening at the same time. Like you'll know, any town near you is going through a data center project, and they're all happening right now. It's not staggered for some reason. But the third thing too is that I'm a huge privacy rights advocate, and so you need someone in this office who's going to prevent this office from having the government overreach happen. So this office not only houses over 100,000 pensioners' data, 60,000 plus employees of the state, but anytime we've ever filed our taxes with the state of Illinois, it's there, and it's not proprietary. It doesn't go automatically to the federal government. So we need someone who's going to protect our privacy rights in this office. Again, there's nothing wrong with someone who just wants to do operational things.
Right.
There's a move in the Justice Department to take in more primarily voter data, but a big swath of data they're looking to get from the states. Very intrusive action by the Department of Justice, which we hope will be stopped.
Yeah, so Kwame Raoul is actually suing the federal government because of privacy data that they're trying to access. An example I'll give is when I was village trustee, actually, and they wanted to roll out license plate readers here. Me being a huge privacy rights advocate, I follow the rules of the ACLU. I'm actually a proud card-carrying member of the ACLU.
Me too.
And, oh yeah, you are? Both of you?
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yes.
on the right show.
Been over 25 years now.
I got a piece of mail from them. I got a piece of mail from them today.
Yes. I get an email a day, at least.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm on the right show. Anyway, so when they wanted to do license plate readers, I had all these rules I wanted the police chief to follow, because I was like, look, if you scan the license plate and they didn't do anything wrong, you got to release that data within 48 hours, right? And the software company had this deal going with all these municipalities that said, if you give us the license plate data, we'll let you use the software for free. But I made us pay. I made the pay for our software license because I didn't want the data going to a centralized database somewhere else in the United States.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. They were making tons of money off of those license plate numbers. What was going on?
One of the things.
I think about a month ago there was a data breach, and some of the license plate data, I don't know, which company it was. It was hacked, or it was leaked about a month ago. It was in the news, but it was from those license plate readers.
So how many communities do you know over in Lake County, for instance, use these license plate readers?
Well, I'll have to call up every village to find that out. But
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you knew off the top of your head.
It's pretty common now. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
When it was 2013, I was on the village board, and it was just starting to roll out then.
Wow, that's just incredible. So Tim.
Yes, I had a question, and then I lost it. I think she may have answered it. The
The nerve.
she's moving right through here. Yeah. Oh, so I think one of the things about reaching the voters. Now, let's just be honest here. You win the primary, the Democratic primary, you're going to be the next comptroller. It's just not enough Republican votes to swing it. I don't think, But so if you win this primary, there's a good chance you're going to be the Illinois comptroller. The interesting thing about the Illinois voters is that a little bit about me is that I ran for Congress in Illinois back in 2004 and 2010 downstate, and understanding what the comptroller is for a lot of these voters. It's, though it's comptroller, it comes after this. They're going down the ballot. They're going down the ballot, and they're voting for the governor, the lieutenant governor, probably the attorney general, whatever the ballot order is, and then they vote for comptroller, usually along party lines also, because they don't know. A lot of them don't know what the comptroller does. And I was wondering how you intend to. You have any plans for getting that message out?
So you know what? I think we all know and realize times have changed. So in addition to doing everything that's traditional campaigning, we have boots on the ground. In fact, I'll give you some of our statewide plans. So we have 9 regional hubs across the state of Illinois that have my signs in our literature. And they've been delivering it to every single county in the state of Illinois. And then in every county, we have county coordinators who run our days of action, who run our phone banking. So as a grassroots campaign, I'm like a native grass, and we have really extended deep roots across the state of Illinois.
Very nice. Wow.
But it's going to be the gardening references the whole show.
Oh,
and,
yes. That's okay.
Yeah, super long-rooted native grasses. And, not only are we doing grassroots efforts that way, there's nothing wrong with the old school way of doing things. I'm going around the entire state face-to-face in person. Growing up, my dad was chamber president, and he said, you always do business in person, face-to-face with handshakes.
Yep.
So out of all the candidates, I've been going around the state in person the most. But I also am like a different kind of candidate in that I can live stream. I go on podcasts, I can make explanation videos. So in addition to doing all of our traditional ways of like mail plus, we have our digital, but I'm also doing shows like yours, all across the state of Illinois.
You're talking to two guys who have done the traditional form of campaigning. I've knocked on more doors. In fact, let me show you how flat my knuckles are. and that's why my nose is so flat too, because I've had so many doors slammed in it. But I enjoyed doing it. I love going door to door and talking with people, and that because when I ran for state representative and when I was running for village board or for county board or whatever, that's how I did it. And of course, mind you, back then, the digital world wasn't as big as it is now. But fortunately for me, I worked in the digital world, so I understood how it all put together, and everything. And Tim is the same way. We both did. And in fact, you remember Yellowbird Marketing, Tim? Oh man, we had a blast with that one.
Yeah, the 2000 in the early 2000s, it was a bit more. There was lots of challenges in a large rural area
Right
like where I was.
Y2K.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Made money during Y2K. The digital world hopefully has gotten more intense in the more rural, the smaller towns than they were back then. There was just no another problem with downstate is the media markets are terrible. The televised markets they take in Missouri and Indiana and Kentucky, and it's very fragmented television and radio markets that way. And but now I think there's with streaming and with video, whereas with the internet, there's more contact now. Not as much as in the Chicago or the color counties, but yeah. But this is about you.
Well, so what's interesting about this race for controller is there's 5 of us. And we are going to split up the city of Chicago, and there's a battle for the collar counties. But I think where it's shored up and where it could be won or lost is literally the rest of the state of Illinois becomes the most important, more than ever before in the past. And when I go to these rural counties and I tell them, I go, your room full of people literally can win it or lose it, this controller race. And I'm being so serious. So you need to make sure you vote, right? Vote for Holly Kim, that is. But you need to make sure you go out to vote and don't discount yourselves, because this is what it's going to come down to, is these rural areas, winning or losing this controller race.
But making contact with those folks. I mean, I can understand in the suburbs here, or even in the city of Chicago, where door-to-door, will be very effective, along with, working on the internet. But it seems to me that the internet is going to be much more of a powerful tool in those rural counties, I would think, almost, because going door-to-door is almost impossible. And that because of the fact that you got huge areas of cornfields, and things.
There's a will, there's a way. And in all these areas, there are congressional candidates and state rep and state senate candidates all across the state.
Yeah.
Right. So I think showing up is perhaps the key. There may be the internet, but it may have been proved. But then they're going to go, who did I meet?
Well, yeah, but how are you? Okay, but going door to door and knowing the mileage in between each of those cities, and that would make it. Do they have a tendency to maybe go to some of these political functions that happen? They do.
Yeah,
that seems to be their way of contacting the candidates and that.
Every county seems to have a Democrats dinner, or they would partner up multi-county Dems dinner, and the rooms are always packed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And some of the smaller counties, they have a Facebook group, and so I'm in there talking to them.
Facebook.
I live like 24 hours a day. Like, there's in person, and then there's online. So.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm thinking that the online. Okay, I was just trying to understand how the in person would work. And that, I mean, obviously in the suburbs here, the houses are much closer together. Makes it, you can hit more people.
We hated the Democratic challengers up north because they could cover most of their district. They could cover 3 meetings in a day was nothing for them, and for us, it's a long haul. For us downstate, it was a yeah. So
one of the newer things they're doing, by the way, Tim, is like, for example, I'll talk about Logan County. Logan County has a Facebook group for progressives, Democrats, and the person who was the host of that group let me do a Facebook Live in there. First, she advertised that on this day and at this time, we're going to have Holly Kim Facebook Live in this group. I don't know, so it is
excellent.
It's like meeting me in a room, but it was the Facebook group.
That is an incredible advancement. That is an incredible advancement.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So with all that, let's go back to your office for just a second. In what ways are you going to be able to improve communication with the voters that doesn't currently exist today?
Yeah,
that
so
helps
when
them
you
to
say
understand
my
what's
office,
going on. Pardon?
You mean my current treasurer's office?
Well, your treasurer's office, or even what are you going to do with the comptroller's office as a result?
So people digest things in snacks now on the internet, and so as let me start off by saying treasurer. So as Lake County treasurer, I started our Facebook page. We didn't have one. Our social media. In fact, we even have an office TikTok where we put fun videos and do explanations. And the video explanations are great because for the longest time, on our due date, I'm in the customer service phone queue with everybody, and the greatest hits of questions are, what happens if I don't pay? Or can I pay a different way? And there's reoccurring questions, so I made videos of all of them. And one of the videos I made was, what happens when you don't pay your property taxes? And I went all the way through the tax sale, the percentages, the blah, blah, blah. And, as it turned out, I was like, if you don't have time to pay, there's a period of time where interest stops accruing, so just pay it before and I go through these dates, so it's not just scary. Nobody knows what happens on the other end unless I tell you. So we did those explanation videos. I also did a video on, hey, if you can't pay because like the due date's this Friday, do not reach for your credit card. Just let it be late, and here's why. If you use your credit card, you know, your percentage can be like, what, 40%? What, 38, 48%? And I go, but if you pay it late, it's only 1.5% per Illinois state statute. And I go, so
Oh, wow.
for one whole month, you only have to pay 1.5% as penalty. And we don't report to any credit bureaus. So you're better off to accrue the 1.5% than use your credit card, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
So there was, I seem to recall, though, that you had mentioned somewhere in here, hang on a second, let me take a look at my notes here, where you were going to implement some online dashboards, you know,
Yeah.
that would help people to better understand, you know, what was going on with their money, you know, with the tax dollars, and that, so that this way here, I think one of them, you were talking about being able to show how different departments or different organizations within the state, how they were spending their money, and whether or not it was being spent, I guess, efficiently. Would that be the word to use?
So I think we can definitely try and show where the money is going through the controller's office because we have that data. The additional on how they spend would require like their information as well at the end of the year, so I'd have to take a look at that process because depending on which entity it is, like they may or may not have that info at the end of the year. But on our end as controller, like I could tell you like how much money, which entity, you know, every year, like we could make a dashboard out of that. Because here's the thing, the website has lots of info, just like every government website. There's tons of info. But like
Right.
it's not digestible in the way that people can, you know, accept right now.
Right.
We've got kids who have 15-second videos and that's too long. So we got to make everything a snack.
I like the snack approach. I watch YouTube. I watch YouTube like I'm snacking.
Same.
whatever
I think
the
we're all
whatever
there.
the whatever the algorithm machine gives us, you know, like the vending machine. It is.
Yes,
That's an
indeed.
interesting analogy.
Yes, indeed.
I noticed that there was a Ballotpedia question you did not answer.
What was the Ballotpedia question?
It was the what was the what area of public policy are you personally passionate about? I think you're passionate about. I think this whole video answered that question. But
The answer is everything. All the voices. So, just so you know, growing up, I actually had a kid in college, and what I quickly had to do, because my parents were so mad I got kicked out of the house, I'm a different kind of elected official in this space, and I had to figure out not only where to live, but I had to sign up for WIC, Medicaid, the Head Start program, and I qualified for EITC credits and the whole 9 yards. What that has done is given me this lens that's tilted towards how can I fix government in such a way that it favors like the people or like it does good for them, right? So
Right.
the examples I'll give, and for me it is a lot of tangible change that people can either physically see or touch. Like when I was a village trustee, I taught people how to appeal their taxes, aka appeal their assessments is the true form. But if it lowers their taxes and keeps some money in their pocket, why not, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
I also taught people how to run for office. Just taught them. Without
I
a
remember
party.
those.
I want regular people in office, not just, Nepo like friends. I want regular, normal, everyday people who have gone through hardship to like represent, others. I also held like know your rights classes as well, and so like these are ways to like inform and like empower the community. So when I was at the township, we physically remodeled and took out the dais of our boardroom and everything and turned it into a food pantry. So it's like a shopping cart model, which has more dignity. People can choose what they want. And it actually ended up saving the township money because they only took the food they wanted. Whereas in the past, we gave them bagfuls of food, half the stuff they didn't eat, or it wasn't culturally appropriate. And so here, at the county treasurer's office, not only did I do all that interest change, as I told you guys earlier, I digitized work so staff can work from home 2 days a week and they have summer hours. This was non-existent before I got there. So there's been a lot of modernization, a lot of change. And for me, my like policy side would be how can I get this public office to benefit people more in tangible deliverables? That's like what I'm interested in.
So go make that entry into Palletpedia when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'll type all of that in there. What is it? 100 monkeys on 100 typewriters.
We just stumbled on we stumbled on the Ballotpedia stuff today. I'm like, my God, she's busy. None of the other candidates have filled in that. They don't have the little. I don't know if you surely know what it looks like. You have a little information thing by your name, and they don't have that. And then it has all that information that you've provided there. There you go.
Yes.
Here, you're out wonking us, and I have a PhD in public policy, and you're out wonking me here. And I ran in Illinois, but I've forgotten something. Rich and I were talking about earlier today, and that's where you sit on the ballot. Where, is it by county? I know it's by county. But in other words, are you? Is it statewide? Do statewide offices get the order set statewide? In other words, is every county got the candidates for comptroller listed in a specific order, or is it decided at the county level or city level?
Statewide decision because they had like a lottery already, and I'm in the middle of the 5.
Okay, good. All right.
Yep.
All right. So,
since you ran in Southern Illinois, do you know this candidate here? You know that?
what am I looking at?
Glenn
Is that Glenn
Bouchard.
Bouchard?
Glenn Bouchard.
Oh yeah, he was one of the first ones. I have a Glenn Bouchard story for you if you like it.
Okay, yeah. Let's go.
So he was chancellor or president of SIU. He's had both positions, I think, of SIU. And his protege was David Phelps. And David Phelps, the reason I ran was because David Phelps lost the seat, the Democratic seat. And no one was running. And so I went and spoke with both of them. And you would have thought that I'd moved there from Massachusetts and I came there to set them straight I didn't look like a Southern Illinois boy. I didn't act like a Southern Illinois boy. And they said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Olney." And they go, "Okay. Where'd you go to school?" Here.
Some of the white squirrels.
There you go.
Oh my God!
Not that excited about it, but
It's so excited it popped out of his ear.
Yeah, it popped out of my ear there. So that anybody knows is a thing. So so they had they both acted like I was from are you? You're obviously not a sports figure. I'm 5'3". You're obviously not a sports figure. You're not a millionaire, are you? Or have you held public office before? They had all these series of questions, and it was kind of fun that they had no idea who I was, and I kind of just showed up. And it's good to build that. It's good to build that resume, Holly Kim, as you have done.
Yeah, it's been like 13 years I've been in elected office from fighting for chickens, and it's been a ton of fun. Boy, I tell you, so growing up, my dad was not only chamber president but JC's president, so we were volunteering all the time as a kid. And now I'm in the Lions Club. I used to be in the JCs before I roostered out, and I'm just very, very civic. I love people,
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. In fact, I like to say I'm the golden retriever. I'm like, oh boy, people. I'm always excited to meet new people. I can't even tell my kids don't talk to strangers because I literally talk to strangers every day.
So speaking of that, how does the family deal with the fact that you're constantly busy running for comptroller now?
I love that you asked that because occasionally I do get that question while I'm running around, and to be honest, this is the only mom my kids know, and the only wife my husband knows too. In fact, when he asked me to go on a date, I told him, I go, I'm about to run for mayor soon, and unless you think we're gonna get married or something, I don't have time for dating. And he goes, I guess it's about time I settled down. The poor guy had decided he was going to marry me before I would consider going on it. I don't have any mental real estate for that. Going is he going to call me or is he not going to call me? Or, and, that's just too much. I don't have any space for that. So,
So, so how many votes, when you ran for mayor, you lost by, what was it, like 10, 20 votes? 5 votes. All right.
I
Now
lost by
Wow.
5 votes.
Robin
Uh,
Meyer.
I do.
You know Robin Meyer, right?
She's the
All right.
mayor now in Mundelein.
Yeah, that's right. She and I served on the community emergency response team together.
Shout
And
out to the CERT teams all across the state.
yes, yes, and it's an excellent, excellent organization, and that and I've probably served on that for what 15 years now, something like that. I guess I don't know. I'm
Why
guessing.
don't you give like a two-liner on what CERT is for people who don't know what?
Well, basically, what CERT does is we train to be able to assist first responders in the case of disasters. So if a tornado, for instance, went through Olney, or went through Mundelein, or went through Grays Lake, which is basically where all three of us live, and that what we can do is we can get out there and help to assess the damage situation, who needs help, try to provide first aid as best we can at that moment, give a list of that to the fire department and to other first responders so that they know what's going on. We can help to control traffic so that they're not going through a disaster area, and that then we train extensively for it. And my wife is the one. She talked me into getting involved with this, and for quite a while I was involved with the Mundelein CERT team because they didn't have one here in Grays Lake. And that in
When
fact
the streets, I think it was either a microburst or some heavy rainstorm, everything was flooded. And the CERT team was out there directing traffic around the streets that were flooded. So
oh,
we got hit. We got hit here in Wildwood, my neighborhood, back in when the heck was that? Like 2015, 2016, by a tornado. It was an F1. A lot of trees, just gone. But my wife and I went out and did our CERT thing, even though we weren't, CERT
remember
in
this.
Wildwood, but we saw people needed help. And so we went around and checked everything out. And when the fire department, got there finally, they had to close off the entire neighborhood because of all the trees down. And we handed them a list and said, here you go. Here's where the down power lines are. Here's where this and this and this. And they were just like, wow, where'd you guys come from?
yeah, CERT teams are amazing, and it's all volunteer.
Yes.
Yeah.
None of us get paid for what we do. We do it because we care about our community, and that's what matters.
I remember you being exhausted during that time period, is what I recall. I remember you being tired from that.
Yes.
I do recall you coming in from that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was
everywhere that year.
yes. 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 And well, when that tornado went through here, that was the first tornado I ever experienced. And I had just gotten home. I used to do Civil War reenacting. And I just gotten home. And the first thing Gail tells me to do is go take a shower. So I go take a shower, and I come out of the shower, and the phone started buzzing. And all this. And I'm like going, what the heck? And not 30 seconds later, boom, no power. I hear what sounded like a growling noise. I wasn't quite sure what that was, but that was a tornado going down Center Street in Wildwood. And I think the actual growling itself was the neighbor's tree in their backyard twisted and dropped in our backyard, from the storm and all that. But we ran real quick to the basement. It's like going, oh, we got to get out of
You
here.
didn't go out on the porch to stare at the sky, huh? That's the
No.
other
We waited about 30 minutes to go out and do that, and I remember looking out the back door, and my first comment was, "Oh man, the grill's been destroyed."
Was it still in your
We had-
backyard?
Yeah. Well, what happened was a tree came down in our backyard. Now, this is a very, very tall tree. It landed in the best place possible because any other direction it would have hit a house. But instead it hits our backyard, which of course is where my grill was at. And it destroyed the grill. There was a swing that Gail and I liked to use, and in fact we had to rebuild it. But we had built this whole wooden swing. And we would sit there on sunny afternoons and just swing and talk, about what was going on and all this. And it literally destroyed that. But there was a birdhouse on a 4x4 post, not a bird feeder, bird feeder on a 4x4 post. And the only thing that happened was that the bird feeder got knocked off the post. the post was still standing there. The tree surrounded it, but it landed in such a way that it didn't even touch the post except for the bird feeder
Everything
itself.
was the best it could be.
Yes, yes, and that's where I learned how to use a chainsaw, because I had to go and cut the tree up. The power lines that all the power was gone, and that.
What kind of tree is it, Rich?
It was an elm tree.
Oh.
And full circle back to gardening again.
Exactly. Well,
It was going to
unfortunately
die
for that-
anyway. It's an elm tree. It was going to die anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the tree was full of. Well, no, the tree was full of ants. It was being eaten from the inside out.
Yeah,
So
because
it was going to
Dutch elm
die
trees
anyway
probably-
eventually.
Yeah,
The tornado just kind of helped it along, and all this. But
My-
the
my-
interesting. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, well, I got my holiday story. If you'll get done here in a second.
Okay. Go for it.
Tim, do it.
Mine's shorter. Go ahead.
So in the end, we chopped the tree up, and the wires were all fixed up, and that. The shed I had back there has since been replaced, and now with a newer shed, bigger shed, so I can do my gardening. So that's basically my disaster story.
It'll be like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Every time we talk about gardening, it's going to ding, 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 ding.
Olney didn't have an F1, but we did have a huge storm that went through, and it did level a bunch of trees and it had power outage. But we lived on our farm was on the highway running north out of Olney, and I was there with my mom, and we went out on the front porch of the house because we had power. And we're sitting there so proudly going, well, we have power, nobody else does. And across the road, this branch falls. We witness it. It falls on the power line, and then we have no power. So our arrogance was rewarded. Yeah. That was my story. It was just just sitting there in our proud front porch looking at the devastation, then boom, okay. So we joined the community.
So there we have it. So,
Holly Kim.
Holly, any last words? We've been at this for over 40 minutes now. It's been a great conversation. We thank you very, very much.
Yes.
And we've very much enjoyed this, and we hope we can do it again.
Yeah, let's do it lots of times.
Okay.
Yeah, for parting words, I guess, thank you so much for having me on the show. If anyone wants to learn more about me, they can go to voteforhollykim.com or @voteforhollykim on every single social media platform available. I live on the internet as well as in real life. I'm very accessible, and I think that's where elected officials need to be in the future. We are looking
Yes.
for volunteers, and you can sign up for that on our website as well. But if anything, at the lowest common denominator, please, I ask for your vote on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
There you go. There you go.
There you
Thank
go.
you so very much. Everyone, this is Two Grumpy Old Men. I'm Rich Garling.
I'm Tim Bagwell, and we've been
Have
here with
yourself a
Holly
good time.
Kim. Have a good time. Bye-bye.